Good morning, all. Before I begin, I'd like to make a couple of introductions. Commissioner Mary Mayhew, behind me, Representative Fredette, and Mayor Macdonald, members of the legislature. What I want to say is, most recently, I've heard some comments in the press about Commissioner Mayhew, and a lot of things have been said. I'd just like to make a comment that there's an ongoing investigation and trial between a former employee in the Department of Health and Human Services, and it's totally inappropriate, if not illegal, for the commissioner to go out there and try a case in the public. And I ask you all to respect the laws of the state of Maine, because frankly, she can't do anything about it. And so I just ask that you get the facts, and the facts are available if you want to dig them up. Secondly, I'd like to thank Representative Fredette for sponsoring some of the bills, and it's a particularly important, because he comes from basically a similar background than I came through. And so welfare is not foreign to him, as it is not to me. And certainly, Mayor Macdonald in Lewiston has his hands full, because I grew up there, so I know he has his hands full. I know that's it. Welfare reform has been a priority in my administration, and it's time that we really start taking it seriously here in Maine. I want to be clear that all people who need help will get it from this government. In fact, I get calls all the time. I see people on Saturday mornings that community their plight, and my staff will tell you that they oftentimes will take it upon themselves, and I'll ask them to look into it. And we take care of things ourselves without going through a system, because they're acute, they're immediate, and we can take care of them. Since 1964, when I was young, we said we were going to have a war on poverty. And frankly, you've heard me say we've lost it. And yes, we're going to continue to lose the war on poverty. Because what we have done in this country is we throw money at the problem, and we turn our backs on the problem, because we think money's going to fix it. But money's not going to fix it. Education is going to fix it. If we're going to solve poverty, we need to put our energies into educating people. I met with some folks in the Lewiston urban area with Somalis who spoke French, which was a great treat for me, because I could discuss with them, and you guys didn't know what I was doing. It was a fun afternoon. But really, what they were really telling me is, a lot of these folks come to America and have great skills and sets from their country. Maybe not to the standard that we think that they should be at, but they're really smart people, and they're well educated. And what we're currently doing is we're devising a way of getting an inventory of their skill sets. And I've spoken to hospital CEOs, I've spoken to law firms, and they're willing to try to hire some of these folks into the areas of which they've studied, and we're working at identifying them. But that doesn't mean that there isn't some problems. And we really want to work with people on welfare. But it brings me to the basis for what we're doing here today. If you take a look around you at some of the visuals, EBT cards, for instance, they're being used in these drug tests. And at first, when I saw this, I thought, wow, how are they getting in the trade of EBT cards? Where are they getting EBT cards? I thought they were stealing them and selling them. But come to find out, they're being used as a method of payment. That concerns me a great deal, because the money that they're receiving should be going for food and clothing for children. And most of these folks have children. Here, we have waiting lists of people who need services, but we here in this state This is welfare. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. And I don't agree that putting $2 or $3 tax on those folks is going to solve the problem. If smoking is killing people and you don't want it, then outlaw it. And let's get on with this. Let's move on. Let's make them illegal and move on. Let's not try to make money on these folks. If we're going to reform welfare, what we have to do is make the resources available to those who truly need it. And then we have to have oversight in making sure that the money and the resources are spent where they're supposed to be, which is for our children, our needy, our elderly, our disabled. Everybody in their lifetime will go through a period where they hit a bump in the road and may need some help. I want to be the first one in line to help, but I don't want to be taken advantage of. I don't want the Maine taxpayers, the middle-income taxpayers who pay all the bills, they don't want to be taken advantage of. That's all we're asking. So let's have a program that works. Let's not have a program where you can use your EBT card to buy cigarettes, to buy lottery tickets, to buy liquor, alcohol, and the children go without. That's not what it's intended. So we have some bills that are going up. And some of the bills are going to be trying to get pictures on EBT cards. Other ones are trying to prevent people who have EBT cards to buy liquor, lottery tickets, alcohol, to bail yourself out of jail. Can you believe that in Maine you can bail yourself out of jail? You got an EBT card. I see a few smiling. I mean, we all agree that's inappropriate. At least I hope we do. So these are the type of things that we're really working on. And we're trying to get upstairs to understand that we're all on the same side here. We all want the same end result. We want to fight poverty. We have maybe slightly different ways of how we want to get there. I tend to like education and a little tough love. And my kids have come out just fine. And they've had a lot of tough love. And there's no scars or stitches anywhere, so you don't need to use violence. But we need to be able to work with our folks and to teach. And we do so little of that. In fact, we've gotten to the point here in the state of Maine where we don't even talk to people visually, and everything's done on the internet. If you remember, a few months ago we were having a big discussion about moving DHHS office from Portland to South Portland, and then when I did the research, over 90% of the people they serve are on the internet. There was no walk-up traffic. So that's really what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get the EBT cards. If they're going to be caught in a drug bust, I'd like to know who was the owner. So let's have a picture on it. Let's have these children right here. Make sure these children get the services they need. They're the ones that is critical. They're the most critical path. This person here, look, if he wants to buy cigarettes, by all means, I have no problem. And if he wants to quit cigarettes, no problem. It's easy to quit cigarettes. I've done it 7 times. You know, it's a bad habit. That's what it is. It's a bad habit. And I don't smoke, and I don't mind saying I used to. I've smoked in the past. I've smoked. Not a big deal. Liquor and alcohol. We don't mind people buying alcohol. I just don't want them to buy it with their EBT money. And the other thing, and this is one thing that is incredible to me, the federal government is coming after the state and penalizing us and fining us for not following the federal law, which is when we give people food stamps, EBT cards, and services, that we ask them that they make an effort to go look for a job. That's all it is. Make an effort to look. We're not saying you have to find a job, but you have to make an effort. Under the previous 2 administrations, that process was taken out of that. It was not done. So now we're being penalized for not asking for people to look for work. So we're just simply going to ask him to go look for work. And we're going to work with it. That's the whole purpose of the new building inside Portland, is to have the Department of Labor along with the Department of Health and Human Services, and if they can squeeze in the veterans and maybe education, then we'll have those services available in that building. The whole purpose is to help, but not to totally give everything up. It's not about always giving money. I have found that working with some of my siblings, it works better if you help them understand it. It's less expensive to them just writing a check every month. And that's basically what we're doing here. I'm not doing anything different here in government that I haven't tried to do in my personal life. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mary Mayhew, who incidentally, she's been criticized an awful lot, but she has done everything I have asked of her and more. She is a superstar in this administration. She cares more about helping than most anybody else in this room, and I'm sincere about that. She really works hard at it and tries to find ways to make things work in a very difficult environment when there's not enough money to go around. And the people that are in charge of appropriating the money are the ones that criticize the most. So I, for one, am a big fan of Mary Mayhew as a commissioner.